farmers, welcome back to Green Mountain Forest. As you can see, we are seeding the far field over here. I think last time we spoke on Green Mountain Forest, I think I was deciding to put soybeans over here. And upon further review, we are now planting sunflower seeds over here, just because we can. I think we're still in the 5th day of spring. Let me go ahead and bring the HUD up here, that'd be easier for us. Yeah, we're in the 5th day of spring. So, yeah, the ground temperature is not warm enough for soybeans. I'm like, well, okay, we'll wait. We'll plant corn and soybeans together, hopefully on the last day of spring. And then I got to thinking, you know what? The way the seasons are around here, we get like a short growing season. The sooner I can plant something, the better. So I'm going ahead and like, well, does it matter soybean or sunflower? I got all the equipment that we need to do so. So I thought, sure, I got some time here in the afternoon. Not much time. That's why I got the speed down to times regular speed. So I slowed it down just a little bit just to make sure I get this done. Because with seasons, I don't really have in my memory what time it gets dark on the 5th day of spring. I have no idea. So yeah, I slowed it down just a little bit. So yeah, it allows us to plant sunflowers today, which allows them to grow sooner and maybe harvest earlier in the fall. Because yeah, it can snow at any point. Which actually brings up a funny point. Here it is. I'm recording this episode on, what's today, the 9th of April? And it's actually snowing outside my house right now in real life. So, yeah, it does snow here. Kind of, here in April, we don't consider that kind of late, but it happens. So, it can happen here. We run the same kind of geo on this map. So, yeah, it can snow at any moment. You never know. But our weather forecast on Green Mountain Forest here looks pretty darn good for the rest of spring. And then on into summer. But yeah, as you can see, like I said, we're planting sunflowers. I did refill the seedrill with fertilizer and seed, so I had enough to get this field done. I will try to go top it off out of lanes and get it ready for tomorrow, hopefully, fingers crossed. We need the ground temperature to raise up to 50. We're at 46, but seeing that it's 66 degrees right now today, I think I got close to almost 70 today, so the ground temperature should easily be above 50 degrees tomorrow, so we can go ahead and plant it. So that just leaves one field to be planted, which will be, like I said, corn, and then we're done planting and taking care of the fields. I am going to check here before I leave this field. I think this is the 3rd stage of fertilizer on this field as well, so we should be all set. Meanwhile, I did venture on down. I took a little trip not long ago down to the other lakefront property that we possibly could have. So I went down there and had a look at it because, like I said, I have something that wants to come in here, but it needs some waterfront property. And it's just not going to work down there. I mean, I'm not saying I can't make a road down there and put the factory down there. It's just not enough waterfront property for what they need. So what I might have to do, and I'm going to have to get in touch with them later on, is how would they mind if I put in a flat piece of property and made our own pond? Would that be fine for them? So I'll have to figure that out. But I did purchase land, so we didn't own all the land down by the beach that we're working on last summer. So I bought all the rest of the land around there, so I don't want to say we dropped our bank account down to 1.4 million, but we did. And so, yeah, money on this map now is not an issue, so I'm starting to think, I'm going to start spending it and do what I want with it. No need to save it. I don't know what am I saving it for? Absolutely nothing. Also, I'm thinking maybe some bigger equipment. I know when I first started, I said don't go bigger than case boomer for tractors, which I still like to. I like to stick to that. We're going to try. The seedrill, to me the seedrill is fine, size-wise. Although the capacity is just a little bit on the low side, it's not bad. The working width, I think we're at 5.5 meters. I would like something maybe around 7 meters, but that's going to be kind of hard to find. So it usually jumps up to like 9 meters, and every time you get to 9 meters, I just think, yeah, the Pronto 9 is what I'm looking forward to. But I use the Pronto 9 on most every map that I have, the modded one that we use. So I'll look kind of stay away from that and use other stuff. I'll have to look on the modded sites and see what I can find to use here differently. Yeah, we're just topping off the seedrill that we can. Drive on Elaine's property here. She's fine with it. She's not even here, so check for traffic here for that reason. Yeah, the only thing is with a seed drill, it does take up a lot of the road. So when traffic does come around the corner, I pretty much got to move because they're not going to move. So I also brought the tree harvester. I brought it to the maintenance shop, and they're going to refuel it, do maintenance on it, repair it, oil filters, air filters, check all the hydraulics, the blades, the saws, all that good stuff. I do need, there's our combine over there. I need to grab this header. Not that it's, it's not, it'll work fine, the corn header. I just want the colors to match on our headers to the, the combine itself. I'll have to swap off these labels. Hopefully I can get one that says John Deere on it. Pretty sure I can. But yeah, we're pretty much all set for our fields. Oh, I was going to check that field over there. Well, I guess I'll have to run over now and check it. But yep, this one more field to do here. Plant some corn in it hopefully tomorrow. I think this has 60. Yeah, we're fine here. Yeah, it says there's weeds in it, but not quite. So I'm sure the other two fields are done fully fertilized. So let's go check them out just to make sure. Nice big wheat field that we have here, so we should get plenty of straw hopefully in the fall from it. Let's just double check this here. And yes, we are fine with everything. So it says. Let's come over here to this field. I'm pretty sure this is the same. 100% ground moisture, sunflower. Yes, we are all set. So for the rest of my day, I have nothing planned. So I'll probably go back to the log cabin, kick it up. Wake up early in the morning, fingers crossed that the ground temperature is above 50. And then we'll start seeding the cornfield with, well, corn seed and get that field done. And then we do, I'll grab the tree harvester, head on down to the beach and start cutting some areas for houses to go in. Apparently, Shane already has people that want to move in. So as soon as I get houses up, they're going to move right on in. And yeah, we'll probably get more people, more traffic. Who knows? But yeah, first things first, what I got to do down there is, believe it or not, we got to cut trees. Yeah, cut some more trees. But by then, the good news is the tree harvester would be fully functional, meaning been repaired, all the filters and saw blades and all that are sharpened, changed, and all the coolants and everything will be full. So I'm going to jog on back to home, sleep through the night, wake up in the morning, fingers crossed that it's decent weather, and yeah, we'll be back over here with the Case Puma, and we'll get the cornfield all taken care of. Last day of spring, ground temperature is above 50. It's actually at 52. That's good news for us. Air temperature is at 49 this morning, but it'll climb on up. The sheep got plenty of grass here, so they should be fine on food. We are up to 13 sheep. That's good to know. This pasture can hold 40 sheep, so once we get up that high, I'll probably start selling off some of the male sheep. Meanwhile, how are we doing on some wool over here? Not too bad. I think we got like 2,000 liters of wool this spring, which is good. The cows, we're up to 12 cows. So I think we're up to 8 cattle that will actually give us some milk. And I do believe, where do I go? I got to go to here. Here, how much milk do I have? 14,000 liters of milk right now. Plenty of manure, actually, and some slurry. Although we were saving the manure for the mushroom garden that we have over here. I've kind of laid off on that just a little while because we've been rather busy doing, well, planting seed in our fields. The cows can easily be cleaned out here. Doesn't really affect them too much, but yeah, we got 8 cattle now giving us milk, up to 13 sheep, and of course we got our, well, not our 4 horses, but the 4 horses that we're taking care of. But let's get to the task at hand this morning. Need to jump back over to the Case Puma, hop in there, and start making some circles, start making some laps, get the corn in as soon as we can. And, oh, how's our grass field doing? The grass germinated. Yay, it germinated. Our grass is growing. I'm just kind of jump up and down. I don't expect to see any dead spots where it didn't germinate. Yes, I'm hoping, hopefully the grass grows rather quickly this summer. I'd like to mow it late summer. I don't want to wait until fall because we have a hard time getting our grass turned to hay here. But this year I think I will get a tedder and we will ted the grass even if it's dry grass. Someone It did tell me that if you do that, it should still cut the drying time in half, so we might need to do that. Let's cross the road here and go jump in the Case Puma and get back to work. As I was coming over to the Case Puma, I just started wanting to see if this field was germinated, and it's not. And I was like, what did I plant here? And then I clicked on it and like, oh, I planted sunflower here as well. Maybe that's why I didn't want to plant sunflower over there. No, I mean, it's not a big deal. Just I was trying to do different crops, but it kind of doesn't matter now. Some of you maybe were even saying that before, like, you've already planted sunflower. Oh, well, it happens, you know. What do you want from me? It's in the ground. Anyways, yeah, let's not even let the Case Puma even warm up. We're just going to turn her on and get doing some laps here. Get this corn in. Yeah, so I need to bring those the headers, like I said, to the harvest for the harvester. I need to bring them down to the machine shop, which is not far from here. They said that they would go ahead and paint them for us, so it's going to cost a little bit of cash, but, you know, we got the cash. That's not the problem. So, yeah, last day of spring, last day of seeding. Then we can get on down to the beach and start cutting some trees, getting some landscaping done. Yeah, our landscaping fees would be cut in half because now we own the wheel loader. I probably am going to end up buying the Volvo dump truck because I'll need it to move a lot of dirt. And we're going to be needing to move a lot of dirt down there because the land is not, well, it's not placeable friendly, I think is what the word I need to be saying here. Yeah, not really friendly to be putting down houses. So yeah, the wheel loader is going to be digging out a lot of dirt. We'll be hauling it out and moving the dirt elsewhere. But yeah, I need to start getting some homes in there so the people can start using the beachfront. I tend to put a general store down there as well. So I just got to figure out the layout and how we want to do it. I have a visual in my head, but if you've been on this channel long enough, you know that my plans change by the second. Always do. So the only thing I'm sure of that we're doing now is we're definitely putting corn in this field, and I'm going to keep on doing it until we get done. This probably will take me most of the morning, even though we're starting at 6 o'clock. I mean, I even forgone going to Dunkin' Donuts to get my cup of coffee. I just came here, so let's get this job done. I mean, it is a beautiful spring morning. I mean, it's waking up to 50 degrees out, and the sun's out. Can't ask for anything better. And it was kind of really good to see that the grass all germinated and is going to start growing. Yeah, before that field was this, it was a regular grass field, but it wasn't a field, so we should get a much better yield off it. Hopefully, fingers crossed. And we definitely want to get enough hay because we want to put down another cow barn out here, and we want to have a different cow barn for dairy, and the one that we were just at, that is going to be for producing cattle head for meat production, because we do have the meat factory down by the sawmill. And I think since this is our third year, I think meat production cattle, I think you're supposed to sell them. Their main productivity is good for when they get to be 2 to 3 years old, and that's how old they are now. They're just getting to be 2 years old. So yeah, they'll be brought to the meat production. So the other thing I thought about doing on here is doing the straw harvest, add-on DLC that just came out. But if you haven't heard, there have been some issues with the straw harvest and seasons, and we're running seasons. So yeah, that might be put on hold. But by the time I get to where I can actually use it, I'm pretty sure it'll be fixed because we're just in early spring. I don't have no straw or hay at the current moment to go ahead and put into the factory and make pellets. So it may be a while before we get to that, which is good because I really don't have a place to put down the hall, the warehouse, whatever you want to call it. I think we're probably going to do the one with the crane and where it makes the pellets on the inside. Or I could just go ahead and get the baler that does it out in the field. But I think that's the part that's causing the problem with seasons, where it only takes one hay bale and makes pellets, and after it does one bale, it won't accept any more bales until you empty out the capacity area, and then it'll take them on. So, but as far as I know, they think they got it figured out, and it's in beta testing right now, so they're double checking to make sure it works good in season before they release. Hopefully they release it sometime soon. As far as I know, If you're wondering, the Straw Harvest DLC is fine if you're not playing on with seasons. But if you do play with seasons, just be aware that some things are not quite working the way it should. So yeah, the Straw Harvest DLC on this map here, I'll probably have to use it here. I won't be able to use it on No Man's Land. I'm a long ways before I can afford anything like that. And I'm not sure it really fits into my storyline that I got going. The Pacific Northwest, I probably could put it on there. But I got other plans. I got enough things going on there already with all the factories as well. So I need a place to put down a warehouse to make some pellets. Somewhere. I mean, this map here, I got a lot of plans I need to do. Is this taking, I don't want to say taking forever, but it takes time. It takes time to cut down, like these 3 fields that we did. It took a long time to cut down all the trees in this area, and then go ahead and it doesn't take long to create the fields and work in the fields, but it definitely takes a while to cut them on down, clean out the stumps, take all the logs to the sawmill, grind up all the stumps in the ground, and there's still some here. I saw one when I was doing the sunflower field earlier in the time lapse. I try to remember in my head where these stumps are. I try to go around and get them afterwards, and then I drive over and like, where is it? I saw that little sliver of wood sticking up. Where was it? Then I can't find it. It's hiding in the grass. But this field here was corn last year, and we didn't get much off it because it was a small field, but it was a field nonetheless. It wasn't as big as it is now, and we didn't sell any crop that we harvested last year. This farm, all the money we're getting is basically from, well, the trees themselves. It's what's bringing in the cash. We do have a furniture store and the carton factory as well, but to be honest, I don't think I really even touched them this spring. With the money that I got in the bank account, I'm not desperate for money, so it's not like I'm down there every 12 hours moving things around. It's like, yeah, when I get to it, I get to it. But it looks nice down there now that we spent some time last fall doing some landscaping, putting in a pond and clearing out the trees in front and putting in like not birch trees, but we did put down oak and maple trees. They look really good. So it'll be interesting to see when fall comes, to see the fall colors on the trees down there. And eventually all the trees to our left that you see here, yep, we're going to cut those down as well and put another field down below here and kind of basically have all of our fields in just one general area. I don't know if I'm going to expand and have more harvestable field. What's the word I'm looking for? Arable fields to harvest. Not quite sure. I got enough other things to do. Plenty of other things to do. Well, I got some good news and I got some bad news. The good news is I took a little break here not long ago and looked on the Seadrill's website, the company that we got it from before. The one we have is a 5 meter wide. There is a 6.8 meter wide one. So maybe next year, I shouldn't say maybe, probably next year if I do swap out for the same brand, we'll get the 6.8 meter wide. It's a pretty good increase for what we need. I don't need much bigger, and I'm pretty happy with the Seadrill, so we'll probably just bump it up from a 5 meter to a 6.8, which increases it by 1.8 meters. Good math, everyone. Now for the bad news. In my process of trying to think of everything I need to be doing here, I forgot to do something. Yeah, so I planted sunflowers in the far field yesterday afternoon. I forgot to get the right seed for this field. I'm not planting corn. I'm planting sunflower at the current moment. So I just really noticed it just now. Yeah. So yeah, we're gonna have plenty of sunflowers this year, which is fine. It does eliminate me having to plow the field after I harvest it with corn. I mean, I've still got to use the same header as I would have with corn, but yeah, so right now, no corn this year. It's going to be a lot of sunflower and a good amount of wheat. Yeah. My brain just not working. I mean, it happens. With my brain, it happens quite a bit. But yeah, sunflower everywhere. Sunflower everywhere. And we do grow quite a bit of sunflower up here. There was a farm not far from me A couple years ago, they had a whole bunch of sunflower out there. So, yeah, we do plant corn up here. Yeah, mainly. And sunflower is another crop, but not so much recently. So I don't know how their crop came out. Maybe that's why they don't do it no more. I don't know. But here on Green Mountain Forest, we got tons of sunflower now. I got 3 fields. Half of our fields are sunflower. Oh well. It's in there now. I thought about starting over, but I got, we're just about done here. So I don't want to be having to replant the field over again. In real life, you probably would be, what's the word I'm looking for? Yeah, you'd be screwed. I mean, in Farming Simulator, yes, you can, because we did it on the field over by Elaine's. You can replant over seed that you just planted. In real life, if you try to do that, you'd have a field with like 2 different crops in it, because unless you dug up all the seed that you had, yeah, I don't know what you would do with it. You're pretty much set with it. So, yeah, we're going to stick with the sunflower that we got here. And the only reason why I noticed it because, I was trying to, I like to record every once in a while with no displays or whatever. And I turned the display on to see how much seed I had left in the seed drill. And I looked down and it just caught my eye. I'm like, that's a weird looking symbol for corn. I'm like, oh, that's because you're planting sunflower. Oh well. It's not that big of a deal. And it's not like the crop that I'm planting is not, if it was the mistake I made like over by Elaine's, I started planting soybean before I realized the ground temperature was not warm enough. So that's why, but luckily I only made about a pass of like about a couple hundred yards. Here, I've been making a lot of passes. So it's like, I'm not going to start all over again seeding this field. We're just going to stick with it. We're fine. It'll all be good. So maybe next year I'll plant corn just everywhere. And next year, like I said, definitely a bigger seed drill. This is, let's see, actually, what time is it? We started at what? We'll say 6:30 because I ran around a bit. And, well, it's only 8:30, so it's not taking me too long. This seems like it is. But I think a bigger seed drill definitely would not hurt. And who knows, maybe by next year I'll have more fields. I don't know if I want to have, like I said, more fields other than the other field I want to make here, which is just will be to our left. But 5-meter wide seed drill, just a little bit too small. The only problem with the 6.8 that we could upgrade to is it doesn't fold either. So going down where the roads are, I got to be careful of traffic. But I'm not really crossing the roads too much as it is. Only when I go to a lanes to really fill up is when I'm on the road the most. So it's got to be careful of traffic then. But I guess what I could do is I could make like a little pass going from that field on the other side over there and have it come out right across my lanes. That way I'm just like darting across the road. Well, what I mean darting across the road, as much as one can dart across the road in a Case Puma. And we will have to see how the weeds come along this year on the fields. Probably the best thing to do is just do a sprayer. One that covers a big area. I could do a weeder. But with the weeder, if the weeds hit stage 2, then the weeder doesn't really work. So, and with spraying herbicide on a field, it's supposed to delay the weeds from growing in a stage or however it works. So by spraying the whole field with a sprayer, not only will I kill the weeds that are there, but it should prevent them from coming back for a while. I was actually pretty amazed how quickly we got weeds in these fields. I mean, I pretty much just barely got done plowing in the brand new field and weeds were starting to pop up here and there. So yes, some flowers this year. So by getting all the seeding done before summer technically gets here, and I'm going to have the rest of the day the last day of spring here to hop into the tree harvester, head on down to the beach and start cutting some trees, which means selling trees, which means bringing tons of cash as we do. And yes, we are playing on hard economy, so I can imagine if I was playing on normal easy what our bank account would look like. And it's kind of weird when we first started out here. I think our loan was what, 1.6 million that I needed to buy the tree harvester, the truck, the trailer, and our first couple pieces of property. So I think our loan was like what, 1.6 million. And for the first year and a half, we were kind of teetering on just keeping a loan but bringing money in and building things. And now, yep, now we just paid off that loan, and now the money just keeps rolling on in. But I got to come up with some plans for the factory that wants to move in, so I'm going to have to put that somewhere if they want it, and put in like a little bit of a pond, kind of like I did by the small BGA carton factory, furniture factory. And also got to make another entrance into that furniture factory. If you can only hire a worker to actually work the tree harvester. Not that I don't mind cutting down trees, it's a long process. It would be kind of nice once in a while to go work in your field like this and go down to where the tree harvester is, and you go down there and they cut down like 150 some odd trees. Just a little bit left here and we were all done for the season planting crops. May not be all the crops I wanted to plant because I'm an idiot, but and hopefully everything germinate. I mean, this should germinate rather well, seeing that it needs to be 45 degrees for sunflower and it's 52. So I don't think I'm going to have much crop loss here. So I say I'm probably going to get some. I don't think you're ever going to get a full field where it doesn't have some kind of a loss on it. Nope, not the chainsaw. I want this little tool here. Should be 100%. Yep. I almost said ground temperature is 18, but that's ground moisture. Crop moisture. I like how crop moisture is at 18%, but I don't really have any crop in it. Ground moisture is at 8%. And, of course, we got sunflowers in here. Sunflowers. Yeah, sunflowers everywhere. But it feels good. All of our fields are set. They're all fertilized, I do believe. Yeah, we should be all set fertilizing for the season. Just keeping track of them, making sure if I get tons of weeds, then I'll probably buy a sprayer and I'll take care of them that way, because it's not going to be that. I mean, I think those sprayers are what, 350,000, something like that. Now I can say it with ease because we got the cash. And the other thing I need to do is, I need to tear down this shed here, and I need to put a different shed in because our combine will not squeeze into here at all. And really, I didn't really like how this shed came out anyways. Yeah, I need to, because it's too big of a, I don't want to say it's not much of a ramp, but it's too much of an incline here before it comes into here. So I need to do some landscaping in here. Probably what I should do, since we're going to be repainting the headers and everything will be out of here, we'll have this, we'll tear this down and we'll put a different shed up in here. One that's wider, and I'm probably going to need a bigger one as well because I'm getting more and more equipment. I don't really care if the logging trailer sits outside. That can sit outside, but as for my truck and the combine, that definitely should be under some cover here. Get that out of the elements of the sun beating down on it. I mean, that truck's rather expensive. The combine's rather expensive. Well, I mean, everything's expensive in farming, but you know what I'm saying. Yeah, so probably when I get the headers out of here and bring them to the maintenance shop down the street and they paint it and change some of the decals on it, we'll swap up the sheds here. And, we also need to get down to the beach with the tree harvester, start ripping down some trees, doing some landscaping down there as well. And Shane can get some houses up and people start moving in, which means probably more traffic up and down the road, which kind of can be a little scary sometimes with the traffic. What am I looking at out there? Is that weeds or is that crop already growing? Well, it says it's canola. My guess is that this crop right here did not germinate. I'm guessing that's what it's going to tell me at some point. I'm just trying to read the screen at the bottom because sometimes this little meter doesn't really quite show you. No, it says germinated. Alright, so it's weird that it's growing here, which is like the last spot I think I planted. And on the outside, yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Seasons. Gotta love it. We'll find out what happens here in a couple days for sure. But yeah, so the seeding's done. It's only 9 o'clock in the morning, so it only took us like 2.5 hours to seed that that cornfield. Lovely job, Peanut. That's lovely. Love how you check things before you just go ahead and stick your nose into the ground and start working. But yeah, so we got tons of sunflower. I kind of wanted corn, and yes, reasons will show up later on why I wanted some corn, but it's no problem. We can work our way around it. We got sunflower everywhere now, it seems like. But that's where we're going to wrap it up for today, guys. Hopefully you guys did enjoy the episode with all my goofed ups and all that fun stuff. I do appreciate you watching as always, and I'll catch you next time right here on Green Mountain Forest. But until then, have a good one.